What could compel parents to abandon their 13-year-old daughter, forcing her to leave everything behind? In 1999, Maria Martinez was an ordinary teenager in a small Arizona town. Her family was well respected, her future looked promising, and her life appeared perfectly normal. However, one day, she made an announcement that shattered her world forever. Her parents, prominent figures in their Catholic community, made an unimaginable choice. They drove their youngest daughter to a distant state and left her there, never to return. For 20 years, this family harbored a secret so profound that it would alter their entire history. Now, a DNA test and an unexpected email are poised to unveil a truth that will leave you astounded. This is a tale of sacrifice, betrayal, and a lie that shielded some while devastating others. What could drive parents to such drastic actions? More importantly, what is the real truth behind Maria's shocking revelation? Growing up in the small town of Mesa Verde, Arizona, the Martinez family seemed picture-perfect from the outside. Their modest two-story house on Maple Street was always well-maintained, with Maria and Isabella's mother tending to her prized roses every weekend. Their father, a respected local business owner, was known for his generous donations to the church and his unwavering moral standards. But behind the pristine white picket fence, life wasn't quite as perfect as it appeared. For 13-year-old Maria, 1999 was supposed to be just another year of middle school drama, soccer practice, and family dinners. She shared a room with her 17-year-old sister, Isabella, their beds separated by a window that overlooked the desert landscape. The sisters were close, perhaps closer than anyone realized. One chilly November morning, Maria woke up to the sound of muffled sobs coming from their shared bathroom. Through the thin walls, she could hear Isabella's desperate whispers into her phone. "I can't keep it. They'll disown me. I don't know what to do." That conversation would change everything. Later that night, as their parents attended their weekly church meeting, Isabella finally broke down and confided in her little sister. She was pregnant. The father was a college freshman she'd been secretly dating, someone their parents would never approve of. Worse still, Isabella was considering dangerous alternatives. Terrified of their parents' reaction, Maria lay awake that night, her young mind racing with possibilities. In her 13-year-old logic, the solution seemed simple. She would protect her sister, just as Isabella had always protected her. The next morning, before Isabella could stop her, Maria walked into the kitchen where their parents were having breakfast. Her words would spark a chain reaction that would echo through decades. "Mom? Dad?" What happened next would haunt the family for 20 years. One cold December morning, before dawn broke over the Arizona desert, Mr. Martinez loaded a single suitcase into the family car. Maria remembers the drive vividly, minus 12 hours of silence, broken only by her mother's occasional sobs. They drove east toward New Mexico, toward Aunt Carmen's house, toward exile. The last thing Maria saw as the car pulled away was Isabella's face in the window, tears streaming down her cheeks. Neither sister knew it would be their last glimpse of each other for 2 decades. Just weeks after Maria's departure, Isabella faced her own devastating loss, a miscarriage that no one else knew about. The secret she carried now felt even heavier. Her little sister had sacrificed everything to protect her, and now there was even a baby to justify that sacrifice. The years that followed shaped each family member differently. Maria, against all odds, thrived under Aunt Carmen's care. She refused all attempts at reconciliation with her parents, channeling her pain into her studies. By 25, she had become a successful child rights attorney in Chicago, defending young people who, like her, had been failed by the adults in their lives. Isabella's path was darker. Consumed by guilt, she fled to California the moment she turned 18. There, history seemed to repeat itself. When she became pregnant again in 2001, Isabella, unable to cope with her past trauma, made a different choice: adoption. For 20 years, life continued. The Martinez parents aged in their Arizona home, their daughter's empty rooms becoming shrines to their regrets. Isabella built a quiet life in California, never quite forgiving herself, while Maria fought for other children's rights in Chicago, the truth of her sacrifice known only to her. Then came the email that would unravel everything. "Dear Miss Martinez, my name is Sophie Williams. I'm adopted, and according to DNA test, we're related. I've been searching for my birth family, and I found articles about your story from 1999. Maria stared at her computer screen, her coffee growing cold beside her. Sophie was 21, the same age Isabella's child would be if the truth that had stayed buried for so long was about to surface. Sophie, it turned out, had inherited Isabella's determination. For years, she had been piecing together her family history, gathering newspaper clippings, DNA results, and family trees. But something didn't add up. The timing of Maria's alleged pregnancy didn't match Sophie's birth date, and the DNA results showed a closer match to Isabella than to Maria. Maria found herself booking a flight back to Mesa Verde with Sophie by her side. The small Arizona town hadn't changed much in 20 years, but Maria had. She was no longer the scared 13-year-old girl who had taken the blame for her sister's situation. The family reunion was set at the old house on Maple Street. The roses still bloomed in the front yard, though their mother's hands had grown too arthritic to tend to them properly. Isabella, summoned from California, arrived last, stopping dead in her tracks when she saw Sophie. It was like looking in a mirror of the past. Over a tense dinner of their mother's specialty chicken enchiladas that no one was eating, Maria finally spoke the words that had waited 20 years to be heard. "I was never pregnant, it was Isabella." The truth landed like a bomb in the carefully maintained silence of the Martinez family. Their mother's hands flew to her mouth, her eyes darting between her daughters. Their father, his hair now more gray than black, gripped the edge of the table so hard his knuckles turned white. Isabella began to sob, years of pent-up guilt pouring out all at once. She finally voiced the guilt she had carried for 20 years, apologizing through tears to the sister who had sacrificed everything for her and to Sophie, the daughter she had given up, trying to explain choices made by a scared, traumatized 18-year-old. Maria, the architect of the original lie, found herself in a strange position of being both victim and protector. Her sacrifice had saved her sister, but at what cost of herself and to their family? Sometimes, the most painful truths can lead to the most beautiful beginnings. Sophie, who had come searching for her birth mother, found not just Isabella, but an entire family shaped by sacrifice and love. She discovered an aunt who had given up everything to protect her mother, grandparents desperate to make amends, and a family history more complex and profound than any DNA test could reveal. The Martinez family would never be the same, but perhaps that was for the best. The truth had shattered their carefully constructed facade, yet from those fragments, they could create something new and authentic. Today, if you pass by the house on Maple Street, you might witness 3 generations of Martinez women nurturing the roses together. The truth, finally unveiled after 20 years, has allowed love to flourish once more in the desert soil of Mesa Verde. Maria's sacrifice, Isabella's guilt, Sophie's quest, and their parents' regret have all intertwined to form a new family tapestry. It may not be perfect, but it is genuine and healing. Sometimes, that's the most any family can aspire to achieve.